Hi. Last time we went over the basics of Tai Chi and Qigong, the principles. We're going to expand on that a little bit, but first, just everybody get your posture, your balance, and your breathing. You have your feet about shoulder width apart. Feet as parallel as you can get them. Just sink down into it. Start to let everything relax. The tops of your hips parallel to the floor. Drop your tailbone a little bit. Move your hips back a little bit. Tops of your shoulders relax down the center line. Back of your head rises up and your chin tucks in just a little bit to get your head nice and balanced on your shoulders. Just pay attention to how the bottoms of your feet feel, if you're evenly balanced, left, right, front, back. Breathe down to your abdomen as best as you can. Remember that 70% rule. It applies to everything, even to your breathing. You can breathe in and out through your nose if you want. I know with allergies, sometimes that's a little difficult. So just whatever is most comfortable for you. And that's, again, true everything throughout this. You just stay in your own comfort zone. As you exhale, just let whatever tension is inside just flow out in a way. And just relax. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. Just let your arms float up with your palms facing. Turn your hands in towards you. Press in as you do. It's like you're pressing your head back just a little bit to feel some movement in your neck. Turn your hands, you press out. Arms come back down. Tuck your chin just a little bit, then it comes back up as you inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Back to the center, let your arms come up. One comes down, palm faces towards the floor, other folds over. Keeping your palm and your forehead lined up, 70% of your range of motion first to one side, and then the other. Make all the movements nice and smooth and slow, like you're moving through water. Just come back to the center. Turn your head to one side, let your chin drop, just roll across the bottom. It comes back, goes right across that center line. And then reverse. Just roll your shoulders forward. Take care of your rotator cuffs if you need to. You just rotate your arms so your palms are facing behind you. And rotate your elbows. And just reverse. Up and down. So inhale and an exhale. Arms come up. Bring your forearms in. So you're opening the upper back, then you open the upper chest as you inhale and exhale. And just pause, let your arms extend out, feel all the joints in your arms extending outwards. Bring your hands back, but remember you always keep softness in the joints so you never fully extend and lock the elbow, but you also never fully compress the elbow. And then just let your hands tilt towards you and away from you. And then towards and away from each other. And circles one way. Then the other way. Hold your fingers over so you have those nice soft fists at your hips. You reach out. As you do, you rotate, and then you open the hand, let all the joints expand, and then you pull back. And it's an exhale, and an inhale. Come back to the center. Got a visitor up on the deck. There's a squirrel sitting behind the chair watching. There he goes. Rotate your hand out, press up. Sometimes when you do this outside, you'll find sometimes the animals will come watch you. We've had deer come watch. Flying squirrel, which I've never seen one before, but I was out doing this one afternoon. For one evening, he was sitting on a birdhouse watching. It's an exhale and an inhale. Tai Chi and Qigong movements come from nature, so it's nice to do it outside when you can. Back to the center. For your back, you just rotate to one side, keeping your palms facing, and turn the hands around, and you come back to the hip on the other side. Come back to the center, put your hands to one side, shift all your weight into that foot on that side so there's no weight in the other foot. Just reach out, let your forefoot touch, come back. On the other side. It's an exhale and inhale. This is for your hip. Next one for your hip is going forward and back. So you have your hands palm down, like you visualize resting on a railing. And go back a little bit as one foot comes up. And it goes straight back as your arms go forward, and you stay nice and balanced over the foot that's holding all your weight. So you don't even have to touch the ground if you don't want to. If balance is an issue, if you need to rebalance, you just touch down in the middle and then touch down to the back. We'll do the other side. Come back to the center. You have toes pointed towards the corner, a little bit of space between your heels, fists at your hips. Shift all your weight into one side. Opposite arm counterbalances the other foot that comes out and touches and comes back. Again, if you want to just make it a balance exercise, you have it as a kick. Exhale. Inhale. Nothing for your knees. You just shift your weight over. You rotate that foot. Go straight up with where your toes were. Shift your weight and punch. For that principle of song, where all the joints expand as you reach outwards. But this one can pretty much stretch almost everything in the body. And back to center. Shift all your weight into one foot. For the ankle, it's a heel and toe. First on one side. And the other side. For the lateral motion of the ankle, pick a spot where maybe a couple boards come together. Outside and inside of the foot touch as close to the same spot as you can. Same thing on the other side. And then being very gentle with your hips, knees, and ankles, you just shift your weight over, and first it's a rotation in one direction, and the other direction. Other side. And reverse. Come back to center. Can you get your weight evenly balanced on each side. Then we'll do a little bit of pouring where you shift your weight from one side to the other. You visualize that warm, salty water that's the same temperature and salinity as your body, just pouring from one side to the other, cleansing all the cells as they do, and really giving you a sense of the weight shift and how it feels differently on the bottoms of your feet as all your weight goes from one side to the other. And to loosen things up a little bit more, we'll do the swing, where you just shift weight from one side to the other. Let your arms swing freely, just like your shoulders disappear and your hands are attached directly to your spine. And then just a little bit of drumming. You tap just inside the shoulder. Lower hands tapping just inside the hip. And then drop down right at the base of the rib cage. And then just inside the hip. And the lower dantian. And then just back to swing. Back to the center. It's like you're holding a really large ball. This hand on top is going to keep my head fairly still. This hand down the bottom is going to take the hip out, so the movements, the ankle and the hip, keeping the knees nice and soft, but just to loosen up the lower back a little bit. Just come back to center. I'm going to do a little bit of balance. So get yourself nice and centered. Again, it starts with weight shifts, and one of the real issues in balance is people kind of losing a sense of how the bottoms of their feet connect to the earth. So just notice how your feet feel as you shift from one side to the other. And when you get all your weight into one foot, just relax into it. Just get yourself centered over that foot so the other foot just naturally floats up. If you need to keep your forefoot on the floor, that's okay. Shift your weight to the other side. Other foot comes up just a little bit. And just remember, you can also use this as an exercise where you sort of tap your foot out keeping your balance. So if you're carrying groceries or you have something in your arms and you can't see your feet and you need to see where the curb is or the step is you're going to come up on, gives you a chance to do that. Shift your weight over, he floats up. Just relax into it. Again, if you need to have your hand on a railing or a chair or just a couple fingers on the wall, that can really help improve your balance. Come up on the other side. This time you shift your weight over, it's like you have a helium balloon attached to your heel. Just bring your foot up like you've just taken a step. On the other side. Back. Just let one leg float up and drop your hand on your thigh. Just very gently, very easy. To the other side. If you have room, you can walk along with me or you can just walk in place. Shift all your weight over into one foot. Just feel how the other foot releases. It comes completely off the floor. It starts to move up just a bit. Doesn't have to be very far. Go straight ahead like you're walking on railroad tracks. We're not going to walk like you're on a tightrope. Feel how it feels as you shift your weight from the back foot to the front foot. When that front foot's really connected, the back foot can let go and come up. It's an inhale as your foot comes up. Exhale when it comes down. Shift your weight back. If you want to just turn around and walk back, that's fine. Walk very slowly like this and focus your breathing with the movements of your steps. It's just mindful walking. Honestly, you can do it at any speed you want. Take one more. Back to the center. In Yang style Tai Chi, you just shift your weight to one side, adjust the other foot to 45 degrees, shift your weight over into that foot, bring the empty foot over into what's called the T-step. Your forefoot touches down somewhere near your instep, but not too close. That foot sweeps around, goes toes straight ahead. You shift your weight into it, and you're in an archer stance or a bow and arrow stance. So you notice there's some space between the feet, and the knee in front never goes beyond the toes. The knees and toes are always pointed in the same direction. About 70-80% of my weight's on the front foot. Shift your weight back, adjust that front foot to 45 degrees, shift your weight up. T-step. It sweeps out and around, comes down. And just shift y'all about 80% of your weight into your back foot. There's still some bend in your front knee. It's just called a reverse bow stance. So that toe comes up, comes in, touches down, steps out, comes down at a 45 degrees. You shift your weight back and you adjust the front foot so the toes are straight ahead. Step, adjust, step, adjust. Come back. So we walked to the front and to the back. We're going to walk side to side for a little bit, but we're going to do it using our hands too. So there's a movement called wave hands like clouds where you're shifting your weight from one side to the other. This can be a very meditative movement too. This is Yang style wave hands. Both hands are palmed towards you when they come past you. Upper hands below eye level. You don't want to block your vision. The upper hand gets to the side, it goes palm out, then it drops straight down like it's going to hit on the drum head. So I want to get all my weight into my left side. I step out a little bit with my right foot, shift my weight into it. bring the left foot completely off the ground, and it comes in. Heel comes up on the right foot. When it comes down, the heel comes up on the left foot. So the feet stay parallel. They don't drag. The toes don't point towards the direction you're going. Just pause for a moment. Go back to where we came from. So you pretend like you're walking on rice paper without making a sound. Come back to center. We'll do something called open close, where you visualize you have a big ball of energy. It's trying to expand, you're trying to keep it from expanding, and then you're able to press it back in. Balance it all out. Since we're outside, we'll start off some sequenced movements with something called 5 animal sports or 5 animal frolic. Starts off with opening energy gates, so you get yourself nice and balanced. You let your arms float up. Your fingertips trail, and then they trail again as they come down. Your hips go back a little bit, so you're not leaning over when you sink down. Your hips moving back, and you're staying nice and centered over your foundation. Remember that foundation is that imaginary line that runs around the outsides of your feet. If all your weight's on one foot, that line just goes around that foot, and you're centered over that foot. And just balance everything out. First animal is a tiger. Tiger's getting ready to get something to eat, so you curl your fingers in for tiger claws. Shift back, keeping yourself centered. You reach up, you grab, and pull down. Balance everything out. And you start to shift your weight from one side to the other. Let your fingertips trail, turning on that center axis. When all your weight gets into one side, you curl your middle 2 fingers in so you have deer antlers. You step up with the opposite foot as you shift your weight into it. Turns on that heel, and again stay in your comfort zone. You come back. The antlers, step up, twist. Balance everything out. After the deer comes a monkey, and the monkey's stealing peaches. There's a couple ways you can do this. You bring your fists up, and you come up on your toes. Your shoulders come up. You look to one side, you look to the other side, and press down. You can do it very slowly like that. Another way it's sometimes done is really quickly, like up, left, right, down. Sometimes when I do it really quickly, it kind of launches me off my toes. So what feels best for you at this moment. And if you have issues with your feet, just visualize yourself coming up on your toes. Think that's going to be a problem, you just visualize yourself doing it. Balance everything out. The next is a bear. Bear makes fists with your thumbs towards you, and again, you're using your whole body and massaging your abdomen, really. And then in the other direction. Balance everything out. Fifth animal is a crane. And I like to use the crane as a visualization for all of this because if you think of your body as being relaxed but ready, which is what you're hoping for or aiming towards in all of this, your muscles are relaxed but they're ready to do whatever they need to do at any moment. So it's not like Shavasana and yoga where everything's just like jello on the floor. You're ready. And that's like a crane waiting to grab a fish. So all your weight goes into one foot. Crane gets ready to fly. You need to keep your toe on the floor, that's fine. Remember, if you can't smile when you're doing it, back off till you can. Right side. Balance everything out 3 times. Yourself nice and centered. This next sequence was developed. It's a relatively recent one. The 5 animals goes back hundreds of years. This one only goes back to the 1980s. It's called Shibashi 18. Nice and balanced. Arms come up and down. Again, your hips go back. You're not leaning over when you sink down. Just breathe with your whole body. Movement everywhere. Back to the center, arms come up. Open the chest. Back to the center, arms come up. You shift your weight into one side, that arm comes over and lines up, palm lines up with the top of your head, other arm goes palm out to the side, and you look over that hand, and it's just shifting your weight from one side to the other and turning from one side to the other, painting a rainbow. To the center, hips go back, arms come down, one crosses underneath the other, it doesn't matter which one. Inhale, exhale. the center. Turn on that center axis so you're facing towards the corner. Keep your knees nice and soft. One hand in front, palm up, palm down. The hand at 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock, depending on which side. Palm up. As you look back to the front, that arm folds over. Hand in the front is palm up. As you turn on that center axis, the arm by front pulls in and the hand behind you pushes out. Keep pushing energy up and down your arms. If you ever study Qigong style, you recognize this is repulse the monkey without the footwork. Center, arms come around just like you're on a paddle board and you pull yourself through the water. Back to the center. Shift your weight to one side. The heel on the weightless side comes up off the floor a little bit, and it's just like you're tossing something across your body. So exhale, inhale. To the center. This time you turn on that center axis, keep your knees nice and soft, and it's like you're tossing something over your shoulder. To the center, palms are up near your hips. It's going to be a push to the opposite corner. So again, keep your knees nice and soft. As you push, you turn on that center axis. Come back. So exhale. Back to the center. The next is that wave hands like clouds we were doing just a few minutes ago. So it's a weight shift from one side to the other, turning on that center axis. Moving your hands. Sometimes called cloud hands. To the center. This one's going to go to a corner, so shift your weight to one side, adjust that foot on the other side so the toes towards the corner. Whichever arm is on that side is going to go underneath the other as you shift your weight. Come back. Back to the center, then balance everything out. Same thing on the other side. Patriot and Qigong are all about finding balance and harmony in every sense of the word. back to the center. And then it's a push to the corner. So as you shift your weight into that front foot, the back heel comes off the ground. As you come back, front toe comes off the ground, and your hands are making like a circle in front of you. So they come across the top, drop down, and push up in an angle. Other side. Into the corner, your arms come out. It's like you're grabbing energy and you're pulling it back towards that up or down hand, towards your head. Exhale. Inhale. Other side. Fist at your hips. And it's just a punch as you do. You rotate the hand. Just flex your fingers. And just like you're flying, and again, your hips go back. And hips go back. Rotate your fingers so they're facing in one direction. You rotate on that center axis in the opposite direction. Your fingertips face each other as you make a big circle coming around. And reverse. Back to the center. A little more balance. It's called marching and bouncing a ball. So you shift all your weight on one side, hand on that side comes up as the foot on the other side comes up. And slowly back down. The center, then it's like you have a big ball of energy you're bringing up and pressing it down through. Back, hands open and close. and a little closer to each other each time. Let your arms come up so it's like you're holding a big tree. If you need to have your feet a little further apart, that's okay. You can make this one easier by just having your feet like that. If you want to make it really difficult and really work on strengthening your legs, you bring your hips back, you have your feet far apart, shoulders nice and relaxed, elbows down, and just breathe however feels best for you. Just going to hold it for a little bit. Back up, bring your feet back together, not all the way together. Drop your hands, inhale up, and exhale down. Last one. Thanks for playing Qigong with me and Tai Chi this morning. Stay safe, healthy, and well. See you soon. Bye-bye.